Halifax, Nova Scotia, the capital of that province, the host of a coastal battle today between the Halifax Tides and the Vancouver Rise at the Wanderers grounds. Thanks for joining us on CBC Gem for this broadcast brought to you by BMO, the official bank of the Northern Super League. I'm Signa Butler alongside former Canadian Youth International Jessica Lisi for the call today. And this Halifax Tides team, which has had a bright start to the season.
They absolutely have. They're a team that has come out on the front foot against Ottawa. Signa, they came alive early. You were seeing players like Miller, as well as Kennedy, as well as Rhodes, shot after shot after shot, but not quite being able to connect with it. But their biggest downfall in that game, Signa, was the spacing in between their lines. And you can see it here in this example. Sadie Wade is able to get in between that line, right in front of the back line and right in behind that midfield. And it was something that caused them issues. They have to stay more compact. They have to communicate and solve that issue earlier. It ultimately did lead to 2 goals against them. You see again Sadie Wade occupying that space, and here Mellenhorst able to get in that space and take a shot that ends up leading to that second goal of the day. So they have to be able to stay compact. And I do think that a player that's going to help ignite this attack, Signa, is going to be Jordan Rhodes. She's been phenomenal for them on both sides of the ball. She's really coming alive, and she's looking for that second goal of the season. I do think it's in her. So we'll see how this goes today.
Big goal producer in Iceland over the course of the last 2 seasons and has shown some bright spots so far for the Tides. As for their starting 11 today, the familiar 4-3-3 for Stephen Hart's side. 3 players making their debut in the starting lineup. That would be Tiffany Cameron up front, Sarah Taylor in the midfield, and in the back, local product Annika Leslie. Starting for her 4th match of the season is Cheyenne Allen, and we had a chance to catch up with her earlier today. Cheyenne, coming into tonight, coming off the first loss of the season, but it's been a bright start for the Tides. What do you think has been the key to success so far in this early going?
Honestly, I think a big thing is what we work on at training. It's a lot of our chemistry. We want to really work together, ensure that we're moving where we want to be, working hard for each other, and I think that's gotten us a long way so far, even though this season has just started.
You're over 1,000 miles away from home. I'm wondering how the Halifax Tides team culture has helped you settle in so confidently at the start of the season.
Yeah, it's been great actually. The girls are awesome. I felt super comfortable as soon as I came into Halifax. I've been exploring the city with all the girls. We all live super close to each other, so it's been great being here thus far. And yes, I am far from home, but I feel like I'm creating a second home here in Halifax.
Awesome. Thanks so much for this and good luck today.
Thank you so much. Have a good one.
As for the Vancouver Rise, the defending champions winless in 3 games this season. Some real struggles for them so far.
They've struggled on both sides of the ball. They're not creating enough in attack, enough dangerous chances. But defensively, they've really struggled in that back line, specifically in the flank areas. We're seeing on multiple occasions, they're getting drawn to the ball and they're forgetting about that awareness of where that player is. You see it here, Okamoto getting pulled out just too far. Lisa Pechersky doing really well to drive down the flank and get a ball in. And that defensive ability in the box, here again, getting drifted in. Adamak is left wide open. So can they be stronger around the box? Can they have better positional awareness at times? And can they score goals? And who else to do that, right? Better than Latifa Abdu. This is a player that it has the ability to come off the front and live in that pocket, but she can also get in behind and really brings that winning mentality. She's intense and she can score goals. So can she be clinical today to really help ignite the attack?
Well, 1 goal this season. She had 11 last year, so she'll be a focal point today. A tactical change in formation from Enya Heiner-Moller's club today. 3-4-3 in terms of how they'll set up. Big change. It comes in goal. Morgan McCaslin, the Gold Glove winner last year, 9 clean sheets, out. And into the lineup is the Japanese Youth International, Jessica Wolf, very technical player in the back. Sura Yeka has been providing leadership in the back line for this team through 3 games this season, and we had a chance to talk with her ahead of the match. Sura, you spent 6 years playing professionally abroad. I'm wondering how you bring your experiences from those different environments to the Rise.
I try my best to help communicate and have composure so that everyone else around me can also feed off my energy as well. It was a lot of experience, overseas, like you mentioned. But yeah, I try to bring that, and my best and try and fill in the gaps where I feel like our team may or may not be lacking, and try to raise everyone up to a good standard and to a good level.
You know, it hasn't been a rosy start so far for the defending champions, the Rise, but what's the focus going into today's match to secure 3 points on the road?
Today we definitely want to clean up where we have been lacking in the past. We definitely want to work on trying getting a shutout and defending, especially in the box, because that's where we've been struggling a little bit the last couple of games. We want to try and be strong and be defensive first, and then also work on our possession so that we create more opportunities forward so we can score.
Sarah, thanks for this and good luck tonight. Kickoff is just ahead at the Wanderers grounds. The fans in the stands ready for this battle of the coast. The Halifax Tides hosting the Vancouver Rise. You're watching the Northern Super League on CBC Gem. We'll be back. Kickoff straight ahead.
Hi, I'm Diana Matheson, legend of the field and founder of the Northern Super League. Are you wondering where to watch Northern Super League matches live this season? Confused by TV networks, channels, streams, and schedules? You could visit nsl.ca and download the 2026 schedule to your smartphone, but who's got time for that? Not me. That's why we're introducing the 2026 Northern Super League game schedule hotline. Just dial 1-833-NSL Live and we'll tell you where to watch every match. It's simple, it's easy. It's like the opposite of AI. No, seriously, call it. They made me pre-record all the weekly messages, and we have like 80 matches.
Call the NSL Schedule hotline now. 1-833-NSL Live. That's 1-833-NSL Live. It's free, it's real, and yes, you can leave us a message. Tell us where you're watching from. Tell us your favorite team. Tell us why everyone should watch the Northern Super League. Call now, find out where and when to watch, and tune in.
Well, inside the Wanderers grounds, fans are getting ready for this coastal battle, the first meeting of the season between the Halifax Tides and the Vancouver Rise. Last year they played 5 times, and it was Vancouver with the upper hand, 3 wins and 2 draws. Vancouver kicking off wearing their dark kits today, going right to left on your screen. Whistle blown down. So a beautiful day on this long weekend. Happy Victoria Day wherever you are across this country. 17 degrees in the Nova Scotia capital as Foster Inman kicks off. Lanier trying to hold off Latifa Abdu. She's got Josie Longhurst, and Wickers fell on her own. An advantage for the Rise. And another offside call early on the far side of the pitch. Today's referee, Isabelle Duclos. Riley Foster Inman starting her 4th match for the Halifax Tides. And head-to-head contact here. Okamoto taking the worst of that, going up against Jordan Rhodes.
She looks to be in good spirits, though. So hopefully all is well, and she's able to get up and walk this one off. We know head injuries are never something to be taken lightly.
Yeah, guys, just go. Get started.
And we'll see another look at it here. They both go up, but it does look like Rhodes just catches the front of Okamoto's head.
And Halifax Moller, the Manager of Vancouver Rise looking on, saying, you know, she's pleased with some parts of how the team has been playing. I mean, when you look at their statistics, you watch them play, the possession stats, pretty good, a little lower than what they had last season according to her, but like to create some bigger chances in those assist space, but it's the defending, which you talked about off the top of the show, that's been a little leaky.
Yeah, they've very much been struggling in that defensive third, as you mentioned, specifically in and around the box, really being able to have that role clarity of who goes, who steps, and winning those battles in the box, Signa, and just being able to keep possession. They're very good when they're in possession, so can they keep possession? Can they build up and not get into a transitional game? When they get caught in those transitional games, Coach Heiner Muller has mentioned that is not their strongest attribute, so just being able to avoid that and lean into their strengths.
Howard playing the ball wide for and about. Latifa Abdu turning. Cheyenne Allen had to be there to poke it away. Valeron on this right side, going out of bounds.
And we mentioned that formation change in offense. We're seeing them in a 3-4-3 Vancouver Rise, but defensively they are still defending with that back four.
Cho. Ball played through, looking for Miller, and Tumeth handles that. To Yeka. Yeka's been deployed as both a center back and a wing back this season. Lovely ball inside to DeFilippo, has Longhurst, some space, has Abdu, blocked by Wickers. Okamoto wide open, Quinn. And the ball flicked into the box, but Foster Inman offered line to pick that up.
And we're seeing very early on, Signa, the width that this formation change does give you. Okamoto is, for a few times now, we've seen her on this flank, wide open, able to get on the ball and create the attack going forward. The only thing to look out for is in those transitional moments, are you going to get caught? So those wingbacks really have to be aware.
Lemire chipping over top, has Tiffany Cameron making her first start of the season. Cameron, 1v1 against Yeka. Back to Valeron. The cross in, going to the far post, and a glancing header by Rhodes. Didn't get all of it, and out for a goal kick.
But the mentality was there, and that's the effort that we spoke about Jordan Rhodes has. She's able to get into the right areas at the right time, and she does have the ability to finish that. First of all, great ball in from Valeron. She looks up, recognizes that she has the time and space, perfectly places that ball onto Rhodes' head, but just isn't able to make contact with it to redirect towards frame. But the idea is there, and that's the effort in the front foot approach that they're going to have to continue to have.
Wolf launches it up the pitch, her first touches. The young 20-year-old Japanese-Canadian player has been with the Rise Academy, waiting for her first opportunity in goal, and finally has a shot. Ball tangled up in Taylor's feet. Tumeth. Get that back to Cowart. Okamoto. Longhurst cuts inside, has Reyes. Reyes looking to far post for Anna Bout. Bout keeping it alive. Cuts inside on Allen, and the slide tackle. It'll be a corner kick, though, for the Rise early on. Stephen Hart looking on. His team, a 1-1-1 record to start the season. Of course, at the bottom of the table last year, made 11 changes in this offseason.
And there's been visible growth. It's been tremendous to see and to watch. Obviously, there is some new personnel that was brought into the mix to help this change, but overall, the mentality and the fight has been there.
Reyes right across the front of goal. Foster Inman, sure hands. Leslie looking up. One Halifax player to the next. Sarah LeMiller giving chase. Putting some pressure on Tumeth. And gets the deep throw in.
Really well done from Miller. That mentality that she has, she's always somebody that's going 100% of the time. She applies that back pressure and is able to win the throw-in.
Ooh, just by the foot of Abdu. Could have been trouble. Well defended by Okamoto against Cameron. Late challenge from Karima Lemire. Reyes plays quickly. Out. Pushed off the ball by Allen. Cho So-yoon. Sarah Taylor. And taken forward is Tumeth. Allen coming to the ball first, well read, and has Rhodes, but Wolf will come off her line and sweep that away. Lemire challenged by Abdu, earns the foul.
See Abdu arguing that, but it does seem to be, and as Karima Lemire is showing us, a bit of grabbing from Abdu's point of view.
Wicker's high looping kick. Handled by Tumeth. Quinn. He's looking for Longhurst. There's Valorant. Taken down just outside the box, and Rhodes gets a weak shot off. There is Wolf, the 20-year-old. Filling in today, Morgan McCaslin. Started the first 3 games of the season. Unfortunately, the team not helping her out so much. She was hung out to dry in many of those games, giving up 11 goals so far this season. So very uncharacteristic of this Vancouver Rise side. They're early going of the season. Not much to, be too concerned about at this stage.
There's always those trials and tribulations, and as we saw last season, there were teams that didn't start off on the right foot, and then they were, in the end, were the teams at the top of the table. So we are very early on, Signa. So to say that, this is over and Vancouver is a team that isn't going to be able to potentially end up at the top of the table would be very premature.
Miller looking forward. Allen looked to have been obstructed there by Tumeth, but no call on the play. Tori Tumeth coming over from Sydney FC in the W League. He's former Australian Youth International. Vancouver building well out of the back. Rhodes.
See, Signa, the comfortability that Vancouver has when they are on the ball and when they do play that possession style. Obviously 64.5% possession for them, but they look so comfortable when they are on the ball. That is what their strength is. So they have to continue to lean into that, but be able to create those dangerous opportunities, getting in behind Halifax's back four.
It's a clear identity of the Rise, for sure. And here comes Latifa Abdu. Leslie manages to get it in. Foot in there just in time.
It's really well done from Leslie. the recognition that you might not be as fast as the player you're playing up against, but being able to body her off the ball, position yourself to be in between her and the ball is exactly what she needed to do in that moment, and she did very well.
Cho blocked by DiFilippo.
Take another look at the IQ of Leslie. She does so well, just puts herself in between Abdu and the ball, doesn't allow Abdu to use that pace that we know is so dangerous and can get in behind back lines. So it's really well done from her.
Valron will go back to Foster Inman. With a little flick on. Wolf easily coming out for that. Yeka under pressure from Rhodes. Rhodes wins it back. For Cameron. All around taken down by Latifa Abdu. Catching her breath.
Rise players seem to be shocked that it was called at all. You see Abdu get a touch and Valorant run straight into Abdu afterwards.
Ball swung across over the top of Miller's head. So through 15 minutes, both teams still in the early going, trying to equate themselves, put their stamp on this game. Yeka, some space, has Okamoto.
You really see that movement of DiFilippo as well as Longhurst getting inside. There's a lot of rotation. They're trying to get into those pockets, live in those half spaces, at times ending up on the same side.
Foul called there on Tumeth, and the applause from the crowd shows you Isabelle Duclos is going to go to her book early here. Tumeth getting a yellow card for this.
You see the ball is already gone. Tumeth coming through. Miller late. This is a well-deserved yellow card.
Leslie looking up for Miller, a little too long. Wolf, you see in nets there, making her NSL debut today. Played with the Japanese youth teams at U17 and U20 World Cups. And was with the Rise Academy last season during the CONCACAF W Champions Cup. Played 2 matches there against Gotham FC and Washington Spirit for the Rise Academy. I'm told she was an out player as a youth, and she's very technical with her feet. Gives them a nice advantage in the back. Speaking of advantages here comes the Vancouver Rise, and Latifa Abdu taken down at the top of the box. Looked a little bit shaky of a tackle. Have to get a closer look at that. But no call.
We're going to definitely need to see this one back. Latifa Abdu does really well. You see there, she just gets tripped up from Wickers. I would say there's a foul in there, Signa. It is outside of the box, so not a PK, but it looks like Wickers might have lost her footing and ended up tripping up Abdu.
Tiffany Cameron getting on her horse, hopefully getting a cross in. Does, bounces off of Vieka and into the arms of Wolf. So action on both sides. Out, play it back to Cowart. Win.
Quinn is another player that's huge to be able to find that outlet in the middle of the park and be able to get out and go out the other way.
Ball skips over the foot of Okamoto and out for a throw-in.
Fish the other way, fish the other way.
Ball taking a funky bounce there off of Valorant.
Filippo under the watchful eye of Lemire. Here's Reyes looking for the shot, has the far post. Cheyenne Allen heads it away, and a foul called on the play.
It all starts off with the throw-in. See Jess DeFilippo turn well, finds Reyes, who tries to get that ball back post, but Bout comes right through Allen, and that's where that collision is called for the foul.
Foster Inman from Kitchener, Ontario, coming back to play in Canada. Last season was with the USL with the Dallas Trinity.
Done from Quinn. Just a restart.
Howard trying for the switch to Okamoto. Bounces pass. Valoran was looking to play quickly. Oh, Cho So-yoon with the turn. The pass wasn't there though, and out come the Rise. Abdu. Again, another shifty turn from Cho So-yoon, the South Korean legend. Sarah LeMiller has an opportunity for a shot. It was blocked just in time. DeFilippo looking for some targets. Instead has to play back to Reyes.
Not reacting quick enough in that moment. You need numbers to get forward. You see DeFilippo look up. She really only has Abdu, who is up against and outnumbered in that back line. So there has to be more options for her, specifically in those flank areas. That is where they are going to be able to outnumber the Tides today based on the way they're lined up. But the transitional moments need to be quicker. Otherwise, you're going to end up like that, where you just have two lonesome players up top trying to figure out where to go next.
Field and back to Wolf. Wickers looking forward. Look at that run from Cho So-hyun. The chance for a shot! And it just, I think she chose to cross it instead to Miller.
She did. You need to be selfish in that moment. We know the quality that Cho has. She does so well to time her run. She does everything right. In that final moment, she decides to be selfless. But this, let's take a look at it again, Signa. She times her run well. She stays on side. She has every opportunity to strike that on frame. That far left corner is wide open. Instead, she opts to play across to Miller, who does make the run. But it's a lot more difficult for Miller to be able to connect with that pass than it is for Cho to hit that on frame.
Cho So-hyun has been a fantastic addition to this team, says Coach Stephen Hart. Just the experience for the 37-year-old. Second most caps all time for South Korea.
Her ability to find space, you can see even that run itself. She drifts into the right areas. She almost goes undetected. She's very sleek in how she does it, and she's able to get on the ball, whether that's a 1-2 touch or she's able to get in behind and break lines. So she's definitely been an impactful player since she's been with the Tides.
And the cross in, headed away by Coward. Needed to be tidy there. Quinn getting things started through Bout on the right side. Lemire over top, that left foot delivery has Miller. Tumeth giving chase. Sarah Taylor calling for it, and Jess Coward breaks it up before Rhodes could be on it. Bout looping a pass over top. Imin just inside her box has that.
We've seen it a couple times, the forceful passes. Bout looks up, she sees Abdu is there, but she's not really available. So to play that ball over top, you know nothing's going to come of it. There has to be better decision making, and then there has to be better execution of that final pass.
Allen has Taylor. Taylor cross in to Rhodes. Rhodes, one touch on a feet, blocked by Yeka. Tiffany Cameron nearly had a shot, and that was stopped by Okamoto. So a couple of near shots for the Tides, but some great defensive effort here by the Rise.
We spoke about inbox defending. That was one of the key things that they needed to be better at. And you see Yeka, she's aware of where Rhodes is. Rhodes takes a nice touch to her left, but Yeka does well to get down. Longhurst almost gets caught there. Okamoto recovers and puts her body on the line. That's more of the mentality that you want, but that initial cross should not be coming in. So that has to be better as well. They need to be able to avoid it altogether, but in the box, that's better. The effort, winning those 1v1 battles.
And awareness here, Karima Lemire on the corner. Lemire drives it high, far post, the header over top of goal. That was Jordan Rhodes again. But that was a looping ball over top, tough to get down.
Well, there's a reason we spoke about Jordan Rhodes, and it's because of how resilient she is in the final third, and she always looks to get on the ball, but Karima Lemire puts a great ball into the box. It is not as driven as you're typically used to from her. Jordan Rhodes gets under it and ends up heading it over top of the bar.
Yeka plays into coverage, and the Tides are on the front foot here. Back to Wickers. Combination just by the foot of Valeron. Cho wins that tackle. Here's Rhodes. Cho. Miller. Whoa! Miller with the shot! And just goes wide.
Some good power in this shot from Miller. She takes a touch inside, recognizes she has the space and strikes through that, but isn't able to keep it on frame. Miller's somebody that's been a bright spot for them. Despite only having 1 assist this season, Signa, you would never know based on the way she is playing. She continuously helps to create in the attack. Her ability to go 1v1, drive end line, get balls into the box, and not just any ball. She has a very good awareness of the type of ball that's needed and precision when she actually does execute the pass.
Wearing the captain's armband this season is Sarah Miller. She's really embraced that role. She does all the right things, says Stephen Hart. Does it in a quiet way, but not afraid to use her voice and lead by example.
I think we've all had teammates that there's different kinds of leaders. There are the people that maybe don't say much, but they put their head down, they do the work, and they inspire you to be just like them. And then there are the players that will put you in your place and tell you exactly what you need to do, but obviously in a constructive way that motivates you to be better.
Joe wanted the advantage played there. Longhurst called for the foul. Lemire and Sarah Taylor. Free kick here for Sarah Taylor as Lemire joins the crowd at the top of the 18.
This is an opportunity to bend that ball right in behind where that line is around the penalty spot.
Taylor driven in and bounces down in the arms of Wolf. 15 minutes left to play in this opening half. Scoreless at the Wanderers grounds. Watching the NSL on CBC Gem, presented by BMO, official bank of the Northern Super League. DeFilippo looking over top, Valeron headed away. Reyes tried to slip it through. Cameron and Taylor playing in combination. And here is Rhodes. Quinn gives chase. Rhodes cuts in, Rhodes! And passed it across goal. That will go out for a goal kick. But Jordan Rhodes has been active early on, the 25-year-old from South Lebanon, Ohio.
I love a good nutmeg. But that's so well done from her, and you can see it's the recognition that Quinn was coming at a certain speed. She had her, they had their legs open, able to put that ball through, get the ball across. So Jordan Rhodes has been somebody that is continuously coming alive in the final third, whether she's coming over to the flank, she's staying in the middle, she's getting on the end of crosses, she's been doing a little bit of everything.
And she get under this cross here. Karima Lemire, again going far post, had Rhodes again, big target, but that goes wide.
Karima Lemire with that in-swinger continuously is dangerous every time she's able to get the ball into the box. But Jordan Rhodes continuously going up for every single header when it's possible, putting her body on the line, making sure that something is able to connect with that pass, but just hasn't been able to keep it down so far.
Joe Cameron. Joe back to Valeron. Valeron tried to get the cross in, blocked by Longhurst. Yeka finding a driving bout.
It's well done from Lemire. As I said, you're seeing that formation defensively. They line up as more of a 4-4-2 from the rise side.
Valeron in pursuit. Okamoto gets out of that. Quinn switching the pitch. This is better from the rise. Okamoto has this left flank, has some space. And then gives the ball away. Lucky that Lemire gave it right back. Okamoto looking for targets. Ball played through to Abdu and skips over into the waitful Foster Inman. Awaiting, I should say.
Some great pressure from Abdu on Foster Inman.
Joe has some space. Chips over top. On running is Sarah Lemire. The shot over top of the bar. Went for the shot. Cameron was creeping towards that far post. Could have had a target there, but not a bad strike from Sarah Lemire.
Well, and she makes the right decision to hit that one time. This is a great ball over the top from Cho, and she beats Tumith in a foot race, strikes that one time, but she is falling, so she ends up getting underneath the ball, ends up lifting it over top of the bar. But to your point, there were numbers in the box. You had players crashing if Miller did want to opt to play that across the face of the goal.
One-on-one battle here. It's Latifa Abdu, and Leslie gets back again. So Annika Leslie, her first start of the season. Going well for the 23-year-old from Halifax. Appeared in 17 games last year with that natural left foot at the back. But has been waiting her turn as Naya Cardoza has started the previous matches. Taking a breather today.
Done from Cameron to apply pressure to Okamoto. And I don't think we've been seeing the Rise lean into those flank players as much as they should be. That is where the space is. You see Okamoto has been wide open on multiple occasions. She's able to drift inside here.
And Okamoto's cross skips over the touchline. Scoreless in this opening half, 10 minutes to play at the Wanderers grounds in Halifax on this Victoria Day weekend. Last game of week number 4 on the NSL calendar. Ball played over top and on running Cameron. Cameron takes a touch, the cross. Oh, and Rhodes almost between her legs, but couldn't get a piece.
It's coming, you can feel it. Jordan Rhodes wants that second goal of the season, and she's definitely getting herself into the right positions. Again, Halifax doing really well when they get down those flank areas. Vancouver has been struggling being able to avoid those crosses getting into the box. That's another example there. Tiffany Cameron getting that ball in, Rhodes getting on the end of it.
Bout cuts it back. That's a nice pass. DeFilippo! Jess DeFilippo opens her account on the season, and it's 1-0 for the Rise.
It's really well done from the Rise. We were just talking, Signa, about how they really needed to utilize those flank areas because they do have the players that can drive end line, get those balls in the box, and be able to put in a precise and accurate ball. So this is really well done. This ball is played over top and about, continues forward, recognizes where the space is, and DeFilippo just hits that one time straight by Foster Inman. Tumith with a great ball forward as well. Great IQ in that moment to be able to recognize where that space is. But just a great overall finish. DeFilippo, we know she can score goals. We saw her do it. And I also always love her celebration. She gets so hyped.
Yes. 7 goals on the season last year, her first this year for Enya Heiner-Moller's side. And the Rise looking good right now with just under 10 minutes to play in this opening half. It had been mostly tides going forward, so the Rise, against the run of play, perhaps giving themselves an edge early on. Stephen Hart's team, plenty of time left to play. He said he's been pleased with their effort. They've played 2 really good games, 1 good half, and then a half they'd rather forget about.
Well, and I think that's bound to happen. There's a long season. There's always going to be those ups and downs. The mentality is what's most important, Signa, and that's something that Coach Hart has mentioned in previous calls, just how important it is, whether you're having, a phenomenal performance and you're coming off of that, or you're maybe not having the greatest performance and you're coming off of a loss, which is what they're doing. So can they just stay locked in? There's plenty of time. They're a team that when they come out on the front foot, they're very dangerous. When they attack through the flanks, when they have numbers in the box. So it's just about sticking to it and thinking about the next task.
But here come the Rise again. A ball played through. Whoa. Osterman leans to the side, an offside call.
Seen Latifa Abdu looking to pounce on any ball that's played through. Her pace and her ability to get in there and just get a foot on it.
She's got a cannon of a shot too, so
She
you have,
sure
you have to
does.
respect her from the outside as Quinn wins that ball back from Cameron.
It's really well defended from Quinn. Again, well won from Quinn.
That's a foul on Taylor.
Some physicality there from Taylor.
Captain Quinn. Scored against Halifax last season in that game I'm sure Tides fans would like to forget about, a 6-0 Vancouver win back on July 19th. Other 2 games at Wanderers grounds ended in draws. Will be called for that foul on Abdu. Howard drills that forward. Rhodes looking for a target. Just a heavy touch by Valeron, and Abdu going the other way. And About was wide open on that right flank.
Took the words right out of my mouth, Signa. Abdu looking to come back the same way she just got the ball when you had an About drifting forward, finding that space in between the back line, but ultimately it ended up being too late by the time that Abdu did look up.
Okamoto popping it in, and Foster Inman had to be alert with Abdu drifting into the box.
Big fan of the pink, by the way.
Are you?
Yeah. Pink's my favorite color. If you
Okay.
didn't know, Signa, yeah, just so you know, for
So if
future
you were a
reference, when
goalie,
I would want to wear pink.
yes. Allen earns the foul. Another nutmeg just for Jess Lisi.
I love a good nutmeg.
Well, you can see it twice then.
Look at that. But truly, there is something in that, and you see that Allen looks up. She recognizes, again, the spacing and the way a player is approaching you to be able to really find the perfect timing to slip that ball through their legs. obviously ultimately fouled by Bout afterwards. Nobody likes to be megged. Speaking from experience.
Yes. Anya Heiner-Moller saying, despite their 0-3 record to start the season, she's really been impressed with the team and how they react and how they speak to each other when it hurts. And there has been some games, I mean, you look at the score lines, 2-4-0 losses. That really takes a toll on your confidence and how you're feeling. But this team has been resolute in the way they want to play. They say it's going to come together, and they're showing it so far here today at Wanderers grounds.
Well, a large portion of finding success as an athlete is taking accountability when you're not great, and maybe when your teammates around you are not living up to the standard that you know they can be. So how do you approach that? You look in the mirror, you're able to be honest, you're able to be honest in front of the group, and you're able to address the issues that need to happen so you can continue on into the next game and just see that growth. Because it's bound to happen. We're all human, we're all going to mess up, but can you take the accountability and move forward?
Halifax trying to find something before the end of this opening half.
What they don't want is the repeat of that last matchup. They started off on the front foot, they had the better of the chances, they were more dangerous, but then Ottawa was able to really defend that 1-goal lead for quite a while, and that's what they don't want to get into today. They have to be able to find that first goal soon.
Okamoto. Tumeth. Back to Wolf, under pressure here. Howard pumps it up the pitch. DeFilippo shielding. Joe.
Cho just tell Wickers to settle it down.
Lemire comes back to Cho, running on this right side, and sends it off of Yeka for a corner kick. And that was, I think that was intentional there, Jess. That was clever.
It most definitely was. She knows that there's going to be a better opportunity for her to be able to connect with the ball off of a corner kick, especially when you have a player like Lemire putting the ball in the box. She maybe didn't like her chances in that moment to go 1v1 and felt that there's more of a goal-scoring opportunity that's going to come from this. But very clever from Cho and just showing that experience and that IQ.
So Lemire on the corner, into added time, 2 minutes of added time at the Wanderers grounds. 1-0 lead for the Rise. Going to that far post again, over top of Rhodes. Cowart will get there and send it up the pitch. Not before Abdu could get to it. And again, ball sent forward. Wickers has to be careful with Longhurst over her shoulder. Ball going the way of the Tides. Waning seconds here. Might want to get it going before time runs out here in this opening half. Valeron. And that will be halftime. So a 1-0 lead for the Vancouver Rise. Jess, thoughts on that opening half?
I think we're seeing a little bit of momentum shift at times, Signa. We saw the Halifax Tides have a lot more dangerous and more purposeful opportunities early on, and then we did see the Vancouver Rise struggle to connect that final pass, but when they did, they were able to find the back of the net. So they have to be able to create more of that in the second half, and the Halifax Tides need to be able to go into the second half with the mentality to keep doing what they're doing, but just be able to be more clinical on the chances that they are creating.
Well, it's Jess DeFilippo with the goal in this opening half. Jessica Wolf hasn't been tested too much against the Halifax Tides, but there's 45 minutes left to play at the Wanderers grounds in Halifax. You're watching the NSL on CBC Gem. Stay with us. Our halftime show is ahead.
Now NSL be on the map, no more imagining it's happening. All we gotta do is win. So if they sleep on you, tuck them in. Meet me at the top, if you bought, I'll drop my pen. So many stars in the making, thank you, sing.
I am honored to have my voice a part of the soundtrack. I've been dreaming to come back to Canada and play in a professional league, to speak about it in my music. That's really cool. And I think it's very relatable for a lot of other players. We've been waiting so long. Not often you see an athlete who does things outside of their sport. I've been making music for a long time, and some of it's about my career. So it was really cool to be given that opportunity to express myself, express my journey. This is also a little bit personal for the artist that I work with, Jamila, because it was during a time where I was undergoing chemotherapy. She loves music and she loves performing and everything like that. And she told me music is my therapy, Tiff. And I thought it was so important for her to be a part of this project because she's such a strong woman.
Collect the CAD and let it flow like the tides, call that currency. Born in Toronto, AFC, pay the pathway for the kids so that they can dream.
When I was asked to create the song, I knew that it had to be inclusive of all teams. You know, it couldn't just be about, okay, I play for the Tides, let me just talk about the Tides and let me talk about the NSL. You know, it had to be inclusive. What would I want to hear when I'm in the locker room? How would I want to be pumped up? And what would players want to hear? Put a line about Diana Matheson and Christine Sinclair. Those two were great advocates for, you know, Canadian football.
Eyes on the prize, I say passionate. I got the sauce like Diana, vision like Matheson. They say patience is a virtue, so I went around the world and back again. Now NSL be on the map, no more imagining it's
I want fans to literally feel like they're ready to win. Win in life, win on the field. This song is not just about football for me. It's about getting up and doing what you love. Reminding yourself that having a positive mindset and pushing towards the things that you want to achieve is so important, especially if you believe in what you're doing. It's our time right now. Time for women to just uplift, so I think this is the perfect time.
Wicked body.
I'm not sure what's going on here, Jess Lisi, at the Wanderers grounds. Some kind of activation at halftime, but at the half, it is the Halifax Tides trailing the Vancouver Rise 1-0 at this stage of the game. Well, our halftime show presented by BMO, the official bank of the Northern Super League, and let's take a look at our first half highlights where it was mostly Halifax.
It was. I thought that Halifax was a lot more dangerous when they had their opportunities. Jordan Rhodes was a player that got on the end of many, and you can see here she gets on this. Yeka does well to defend it and block it, and then Tiffany Cameron gets a second chance to get that on goal. But overall, you saw them really try to come alive in those moments. Jordan Rhodes right at the front of that. Opportunity after opportunity for her, just not falling in the back of the net. And unfortunately, the only way to win games is to actually connect and get the ball into the back of the net. But you can see her putting her body on the line, getting the ball to her feet, trying to break lines, getting on the end of these crosses, Signa. So she's definitely been a player that has been the one to watch for the Halifax Tides in that first half.
Well, Stephen Hart said that she's been working her socks off lately, Jordan Rhodes has, so hoping that one of those goals will come to fruition maybe in the second half.
Hopefully so, because that hard work is frustrating when it doesn't fall your way. But then obviously the Vancouver Rise able to come out on top in that first half. Tumis sends a great ball into Bout, who cuts this back to DiFilippo, who places it one time past Foster Inman. But there wasn't much from the Vancouver Rise as far as being that dangerous in the attack. So for them to be able to finish that and go into the half up is a huge thing, Signa.
Well, it was Vancouver with the possession, but it was Halifax with the shots in terms of advantage, but only one on target. So they have not tested Jessica Wolf, making her debut for the Vancouver Rise in between the sticks. Fans on hand, representing the old Montreal Canadiens. Game 7 coming up a little bit later, but I'm glad you're with us here for this Northern Super League matchup, the Battle of the Coast. We've got 45 minutes left to play at the Wanderers grounds. It's 1-0 for the Vancouver Rise over the Halifax Tides. And that's it! History made for the Vancouver Rise, your first ever Northern Super League champions!
In the beginning, we didn't really do it as a team, and we came together, and I do think that helped us win the final because we knew how to respond when maybe things were not going our way.
Maybe we were the better team for the whole season, but on that day, if you don't win, you're not going to win.
It felt like a full circle moment.
Sometimes that's just the way the sport goes. It doesn't go your way, and you kind of just have to accept that.
It was like a battle, but so rewarding.
Getting ready for this inaugural Northern Super League Championship.
That final was really complicated. We were losing 1-0, and we're having a lot of ups and downs.
When things go wrong, we don't ever turn on each other. We actually turn towards each other to solve the problem.
Yeah, it's like building on our culture.
There is lightning in the area here, so postpone for the moment this match.
We kind of thrive in those uncomfortable situations. So it was no panic for us.
This is so late, but I was like, this is gonna be like a turning point. It's gotta be. Like, it's a lightning storm. What do you mean? Like, that's wild.
And then you balled.
Corner kick. And it's in the back of the goal.
There'll be a unlucky bounce or an unlucky goal, and that's just something you gotta face.
We looked at each other in the huddle. We're like, let's go.
I remember looking up at the clock at like the 75th minute, and I was like, we can win this.
Forward ball, it's a nice one. She's got an edge on Burns. What a finish! Vancouver Rise up 2-1.
I couldn't stop smiling and just seeing my teammates and knowing the journey that we took to get to this very moment. Only we will know how hard that was.
Still think about it sometimes. We showed that we were the better team, and I think we deserved more.
To do it together was monumental and a really special year.
All we gotta do is win. So if they sleep on you, tuck them in. Meet me at the top. If you bought, I'll drop my pen. So many stars in the making. Thank you. Built to thrill. Whoa. Eyes on the prize, I say passionate. I got the sauce like Diana, vision like medicine. They say patience is a virtue, so I went around the world and back again. Now NSL be on the map, no more imagining, it's happening. Collect the CAD and let it flow like the tides, call that currency. Born in Toronto, AFC. Pay the pathway for the kids so that they can dream. Say la vie, if you work hard, you it's game time, let's put the ball in motion. Obstacles in my way, gotta rise like Vancouver. Positive mindset, negative, gotta maneuver. I work hard, cause I don't wanna be average. Gain some capital like Ottawa, kinda rapid quick. No time for low key, I keep it wild and free like Calgary. I just wanna play ball and be me. Hear the sound of victory.
Welcome back to our NSL halftime show presented by BMO, the official bank of the Northern Super League. A look at Halifax Harbor, and in the foreground, downtown Halifax in the Nova Scotia capital, as our match day coverage continues for our match between the Rise and the Tides. Speaking of action, we've got 3 matches for you in week number 5, and the last one on the calendar is the Calgary Wild against the Halifax Tides. And the Wild are led by their captain, Maggie Doherty-Howard, and she tells us why she wanted to extend with the club through 2028.
Doherty-Howard delivers.
I think I try to lead from a place of wanting to get the best out of my teammates. I feel like I just try to connect with everyone on a pretty personal level and try to be encouraging. I try to be positive. I try to give information to younger players and try to help them develop their game.
Maggie Doherty-Howard, your captain, your teammate, what does she bring to the team, and what are things that we don't see about the way she leads?
Maggie's just an all-around competitor. You know, I've never met anyone like her, and I will never again, and that's something I'm super grateful for. Like you mentioned, leader, and she is everything you would think a leader should and is. Off the field, she's just the person you can go to for anything, whether that's soccer, life. She's a great friend, which is something that we all value a lot. And then on the field, she's just such a fierce competitor. It's something that just really gets the girls going. You know, if she scores a banger from outside the box, we're all screaming and cheering. And then she does it in a game and everyone's screaming and cheering even louder. She just shows up and is ready to go, and it gets us all going.
And you know there's plenty in the box. Look at that strike! Maggie Doherty-Howard with a howitzer.
And signing through 2028 is a statement. What made you want to commit to this team?
I think a number of things, but just believing in the vision of the NSL from the top and then having that trickle down to what I believe Calgary Wild can become. We made a lot of progress in year 1 from where we started, and I think the sky is the limit in terms of what this club is capable of doing. I'm able to make an impact, and that's something that's really rewarding to me as a player, as well as just continue to have fun on the field. I had, through it all, I feel like I developed a lot as a person, as a player, as a leader, and it just felt right to continue here.
Hi, I'm Dinah Matheson, legend of the field and founder of the Northern Super League. Are you wondering where to watch Northern Super League matches live this season? Confused by TV networks, channels, streams, and schedules? You could visit nsl.ca and download the 2026 schedule to your smartphone, but who's got time for that? Not me. That's why we're introducing the 2026 Northern Super League game schedule hotline. Just dial 1-833-NSL Live and we'll tell you where to watch every match. It's simple, it's easy. It's like the opposite of AI. No, seriously, call it. They made me pre-record all the weekly messages, and we have like 80 matches.
Call the NSL schedule hotline now. 1-833-NSL Live. That's 1-833-NSL Live. It's free, it's real, and yes, you can leave us a message. Tell us where you're watching from. Tell us your favorite team. Tell us why everyone should watch the Northern Super League. Call now, find out where and when to watch, and tune in.
Welcome back. Wanderers Grounds, the scene of this coastal battle between the Vancouver Rise and the Halifax Tides. It's the Rise on top thanks to a goal from Jess DeFilippo. And we've got a couple of substitutes coming in for Vancouver. Mariah Lee, you see right there, working out, getting ready to come back into the game. Mariah Lee loves to get up high. 5 goals last season, she can contribute as well. And has started all 3 matches prior to this one, so coming in off the bench in this game. There's your goal scorer, Jess DeFilippo. On that assist from Anna Bout. Actually, Coach Anya Heiner-Moller was saying she was waiting for the next step for Annabout to be contributing in the ways of assists. And
exactly.
Came
She did
true
see
today.
that.
And also coming in as a substitute, Mia Ponte. Nice to see her. She sat out the first 3 games with injury. She's on loan from AS Roma, the Serie A League champions. So expected to make a real impact in the midfield is Mia Ponte, former Canadian Youth International. So some changes for the Vancouver Rise to start this second half. Tiffany Cameron there for, as you heard her doing halftime with their song Victory.
No biggie.
No big deal, you know, just the Built to Thrill signature song for the season. But yeah, the 34-year-old from Toronto, Stephen Hart, says, you know, she keeps everything energetic and joyful, lively, and rewarded with her first start of the season today. So Stephen Hart, his team has some work to do in this second half. They did have some opportunities in that opening half, but need more shots on target to affect any change in this game. Signa Butler alongside Jess Lisi for the call today on CBC Gem. Thanks for joining us wherever you are across this country. And we know you're across the country because it is this coastal battle. Filippo, nice little touch there by Leslie. She's gonna take a shot, try to. And blocked. Going for a goal kick.
We're seeing Vancouver already come out on that front foot. They're not happy with the 1-0. They want it to be more. Obviously, Halifax coming in from behind, so they also have to have the front-footed mentality, but be aware of what threat Vancouver is bringing.
Allen taken down, foul on Lee.
See the contact there. Both players losing their footing.
Lemire closed down immediately, ball tangled up in her foot. And Allen couldn't get a toe on that to keep it alive. No changes for the Tides in this second half. Buster Inman sending that way up the pitch.
See how displeased she is with that. Well done from Cho.
So tried to slip it through to Miller. Tumeth read that. Now come the Rise the other way. Reyes. Back to Yeka. And just outside. Now cutting it back to an on-running Ponte. And Halifax getting hemmed into their own net. Their own zone, pardon me.
Vancouver continuing to look for those attacking opportunities, numbers around the ball, combination play to get something off.
Reyes has DeFilippo. And Lemire recovers as far as Tumeth.
Nothing here. No.
And off the foot of Lee.
It's really well defended from Allen.
That's us. Ball crossed in, and Foster Edmonds got it. Wants to get things going up the pitch right away. Yeka gets a foot on it. Ooh. Ouch. Mia Ponte felt that. Just making sure she's all right.
It's quite a welcome.
Yeah. Waiting for her first NSL action. Nice turn from Miller. Miller pushing forward. Sarah LeMiller. Rhodes cutting inside. And Ponte getting that out of trouble.
See the gears grinding in Sarah Miller's
Yes,
head there.
yes.
She didn't know if she was going to have enough time and space to be able to strike it on frame, was going to look and opt to play out wide to a teammate. And we'll see another look at it here. First, it starts off with a great turn from her. She drives forward. You can see Vancouver's back line continuously drops. Can she strike it is the question she's asking herself, and she opts to go out wide to Rhodes, and ultimately it does get cleared.
Rhodes bowls over Yeka. Taylor took an extra touch, and that allowed Vancouver to close that down, and Wolf picks that up.
She has to be able to strike that off of the first touch or one time directly when that ball comes to her, especially in and around the 18-yard box. You know that there's going to be a player on you the second you take a touch. So just quicker thinking there from Sarah Taylor.
Bout playing up higher now. Tackled by Valerand. Taylor. Just too far, no target there.
Red.
Miller reads that, just a bit of heavy touch. That was a late challenge on Quinn from Lemire.
Some frustration from Lemire. I'm not sure how she can argue that one. She did go right through the back of Quinn late after the play.
Rhodes comes back, wins the ball. Has Cameron. Cameron, shot deflects off of Yeka and out for a corner kick.
Seeing the importance, Signa, of those simple passes and being able to connect them with precision. The ball's given away and ultimately goes right down Vancouver's throat. Tiffany Cameron not able to get anything into the box in that moment, but she does win a corner kick, which is also dangerous territory. As we've seen, Jordan Rhodes has been getting on every single one of these deliveries that Lemire has put into the box.
Karima Lemire. Corner in. Headed away by Lee. Taylor has Lemire one time in the box. Oh, just over the foot of Valerand. Just skipped over the oncoming Valerand, who was looking for her second goal of the season.
This ball played back out to Lemire, who hits it first time with her left boot. Jordan Rhodes gets up to head that, and it ends up falling straight into Valerand's foot, but just rolls over top of her.
Quinn and Reyes play that out. Tumeth. Ball played over top, has Abdu. Wickers keeping her to the outside. Tumeth, nice turn on the inside.
Yuka with space.
Cho under siege and maybe got away with one there. Filippo went down. That ball picked off. Ponte chips it in. Allen had to have a diving header to stop that from hitting Lee. And Reyes from outside, and Foster Inman's got it.
There's not enough in the shot to really test Foster Inman, but we're seeing Vancouver look to win those first and second balls. As Halifax tries to clear the ball, they're able to win it back and once again come up and try another opportunity. So that mentality and that front-footed approach, Signa, that I mentioned off the top, and being able to keep that as the half continues on is still very much prominent in this attack that we're seeing from the Rise.
Quinn squeaks that through. Two oncoming Tides. Vancouver playing with more purpose now. Miller wins that. Still Miller. Sarah LeMiller goes by a second defender. Miller almost went coast to coast. It went out of bounds. And looks to be a corner kick. So Sarah LeMiller, some individual effort there to earn the corner kick.
Well, we know the skill that Sarah LeMiller has, and she's somebody that does not give up. She loves to drive at people and go 1v1. She has the confidence in her ability, and ultimately she does get that shot off, but Jess Cowart coming up big and putting her leg on that on a slide tackle. And winning a corner kick, which again, we have seen multiple opportunities come off of these corner kicks. So this is another opportunity for the Tides to equalize.
It's Taylor on the corner. Drives it in, well struck. Rhodes! Jordan Rhodes has been knocking at the door all night long, and she picks up her second goal of the season. It's a tie game at Wanderers grounds.
We knew it was a matter of time, Signa. Jordan Rhodes, as you said, has been knocking on the door the entirety of the first half, chance after chance. It was just a matter of time for her to be able to find the back of the net. She's been great for them in attack. She's really helped ignite things, and we're going to be able to take another look at it. But this ball delivered in was also great. Well struck, delivered straight into the dangerous areas where Halifax was able to get on it. So great ball in from Taylor. And you can see Wickers goes up. Jordan Rhodes fights for it. Gritty goal in the right position, but also doesn't give up to be able to find the back of the net.
Substitution coming into the game for the Halifax Tides. That is Julie Pedersen, the 27-year-old from Norway. Karima Lemire coming out of the game. So that change in the midfield. 1-1.
Now this is where the test comes in, Signa, right? Will that momentum shift? Will we see a different Tide side? Will we see them really come alive in the attack now with the confidence after the goal? And will we see a Vancouver side that's going to allow that to happen and be a little bit depleted coming off the goal? Or will they be able to hold that front-footed approach that we've been talking about?
Well, here come the Rise. Tori Tumeth coming out of attack, and that is going to be a penalty on Cheyenne Allen. A penalty shot coming up for the Vancouver Rise. So you mentioned momentum, it just got snuffed out.
It definitely did, and that's what happens when you take the space that you are given and you drive, and that's exactly what Tumeth does. You can see her get into that space, and Cheyenne Allen just grabbing her from behind and then ends up actually taking out her feet in from behind, and you can see it. Allen knows automatically that she messed up in that moment. Frustrating for the Tides coming straight off of a great goal.
And it will be Quinn at the penalty spot. They, of course, scored the first goal in NSL history on a PK. Foster Inman, let's see what she has in store. You know, she's been watching film.
They've also had the opportunity to play together in the past, so.
Quinn steps up. Is it 2-1? It sure is. Wow. What a penalty strike that was by Quinn, captain of the Rise, and pulling their team on top 2-1.
You see Foster Inman guess the right way. She does go the direction that the ball is kicked, but ultimately there's too much power and too much precision from Quinn to be able to keep that out of the back of the net. It's a really well struck penalty, and it's not surprising at all, Signa.
Quinn has been perfect at the penalty spot for the Vancouver Rise. And gives their team the lead. Wow, the swings of emotion in the game, the swings of momentum in the game.
It's all a part of it, and we spoke about that. Stephen Hart said mentality is one of the biggest things and the most important attributes that he really drives forward in his team, and that's something that's going to be tested right now. You're able to find the back of the net just for it to come back the other way, and now you're down once again. How do you react? How do you grow from this? How do you solve the problems to be able to find that second goal, to be the equalizer, but then also to score again and to get ahead?
Justin Filippo, by the way, was booked. In the previous play by referee Isabelle Duclos. So we'll have a free kick here for the Halifax Tides. That is Julie Pedersen. Coming over from Odds BK in Norway, where she made 90 appearances over 4 seasons. Slides that free kick in. That was dangerous. Rhodes still has it. Jordan Rhodes still has it. But they're able to get it out as far as Mariah Lee. Now Lee storming forward. Ooh, just off the foot of Rhodes. Looks like a magnet Rhodes was in the box.
This is a great delivery into, we talk about it, the precision, the technique that she delivers this ball with right into that space. It goes over top of the head of Miller, but Rhodes gets on it. She takes on quite a few Vancouver Rise players, but then Sarah Miller just getting caught up and the ball not able to find its way into the back of the net or to even have a shot come off of that.
Nice back heel from Allen. Rhodes pushing forward now. Needs some targets. Looking for Cameron. Cameron didn't finish the run.
Jordan Rhodes not recognizing the amount of space she does have. The Rise backline dropping and really giving her enough time where she can take a few more touches and drive forward to then draw someone out and potentially play Cameron through.
Taylor and Yucca get tangled up. Ball out for a Halifax throw. Sarah Taylor, 29-year-old from Bridgewater, Nova Scotia. She's a fan favorite here in Halifax. Valeron on the cross in. Rhodes has a header on it, and Wolf had to knock that out of bounds.
Looks like she might have picked up a little bit of a black eye as well. This is a great delivery into the box from Valeron, and Jordan Rhodes gets up and she redirects that towards frame. She does test Wolf, who has no choice but to get on that.
So Cowart being checked out, and Rhodes, if we saw the other side of her.
There it is.
She's got a little bit of something underneath that eye. She's like, I'm fine. It's just a shiner.
It's like, no big deal.
Taylor across to the other side this time. Will take this with her left foot. In swing, punched away by Wolf. Taylor knocks it in again, headed by Yeka. Miller tried to cut it back and cleared away up the pitch.
Allen able to get there and just control that and play it back calmly to Foster Inman.
Tumeth keeps that alive. Quinn directing traffic. Here's Lee, poked away by Allen.
Allen doing well to keep her feet.
Coward chips the ball in, skips by Bounce.
It's not a bad idea to get that ball back into the box, and we've seen Jessica Coward deliver quite a few balls last season, Signa, that did end in some goals and some dangerous opportunities in the box. So I don't hate that idea to try to get that ball into a more dangerous area.
Wolf up to the on-waiting feet of Allen. Miller covered quickly by Tumeth, who gives a little shove.
Miller with no reaction. Talk about staying level-headed.
Wolf looking up for Bouts to Wickers. Pedersen. Valeron. Little shimmy shake and got a tackle there at the same time. Reyes got a piece of the boot of Valeron.
It sounds like such a simple thing, having your foot stepped on, but my goodness, does it hurt? And you can see it in Valeron's face. She tries to continue on, but does ultimately end up playing victim to that foot stomp.
Stephen Hart looking on as Pedersen is on the ball. Pedersen, long ball! And dealt with by Vancouver. And here comes Mariah Lee, loads of space. Cho, the slide tackle bounces up, hits Lee in the arm. So I think that will be what the call is from Isabel Duclos.
Definitely appear to be right, Signa. That handball call on Lee. It's a well-timed tackle from Cho as well. She comes all the way across, recovers well, and then well-timed that tackle. Sorry, I got distracted by what we were seeing.
Lee, Quinn into open space. Quinn trying to lay the ball through. Valeron tracked back on the inside, and Cameron will go the other way. Ponte in pursuit. Vancouver throw. Cameron didn't like that. Ponte will continue.
Those field side fans are getting quite a show today.
Premium seats, premium action. Yeka as well, make sure that stays out of danger. Foster Inman's gonna have to come out and grab that, slow down on the grass. Cho just gets the throw in. Cho So-hyun, 37-year-old who brought in a lot of leadership and played in big environments like Tottenham and the WSL and the W Championship at Birmingham City.
You can see that experience in the way she plays and in the way she sees the game.
Across the back to Cowart. So this pass picked up by Allen, who wants to go over top and just curled out of bounds looking for Rhodes. "20 minutes left to play. 2-1 game for the Rise over the Tides.
Rise looking to free up Mariah Lee and really lean into that pace that we know she has. But unfortunately, that ball not able to stay in bounds.
Pedersen's pack's picked off. Reyes looking for Abdu and just a step offside.
Some good build from the middle of the park to find Abdu, who's breaking that line. Just a little bit overly eager from her. She's not able to time her run, and she does end up, as you said, being a step offside.
Once again, back to Foster Inman. Allen wins the ball back to Foster Inman. Halifax trying to get their shape in order.
We're seeing a more aggressive approach from this Vancouver Rise side, applying that pressure instead of just sitting back and allowing Halifax to have the time to build out of the back.
Allen back across to Leslie, tangled up in Wickers. Throw in on the far side. For Tides throw in. Back and forth here. Tifa Abdu getting back, winning the tackle. He converged on by a few Tides players. The Rise taking control from the back.
Mariah Lee driving into that space.
Loads of space, broken up by Allen. Tumeth, the cross. And skied over top by DeFilippo, who's got one of Vancouver's goals in tonight's match.
Substitution for Halifax, time 74th minute, exiting the match, number 32, Tiffany Cameron. Entering the match,
Tiffany Cameron coming out of the match, and Sid Kennedy coming in. From Fletcher's Lake, Nova Scotia, big fan favorite here.
Kennedy also being one of those bright spots up top and on the flank. She's been great for them so far this season and creating a lot of danger up top. Cutting inside, she's able to strike it with both feet. She's great at running 1v1 down the side, down the flank to get balls into the box. Her delivery is usually very precise. So adding her into the game at this point, Signa, I think this can help to really light that fire under Halifax in the attack.
Kennedy had a cracker of a shot against Ottawa,
she sure
nailed
did.
the crossbar. Rhodes fights Quinn off the ball. Kennedy's first touches tackled by Tumeth.
And another thing to note is we're also seeing Surayeka play as that center back again, and her more dominant position in what she's typically used to playing is out on that flank, and we saw Tumeth start into more of that central role as well as Yeka deployed out wide. So you're seeing that comfortability and that confidence that Anya Heiner-Muller has in having a player like Howard and Yeka back there with that experience to really drive that back line while freeing up a player like Tumeth to go at people and get involved in the attack.
Cho putting pressure on. Tumeth again, timely tackle. Allen cuts it back. Leslita Pedersen pulls down quickly and the ball sprayed wide. Stephen Hart's team must be pleased in terms of chances created this season, having the edge over a team like the Ottawa Rapid, who are looking very strong as of late.
46 chances created, and that shows just how many strides they've made forward this year, Signa. Last year we would have been having a very different conversation, but we've spoken about how we've seen this attack really come together, and now it's just about continuously finding the back of the net and being clinical in those moments when they are creating such great build-up and such dangerous chances.
And switches the play. Kennedy and Mariah Lee battling it out for it. Now, Stephen Hart has said, he's seen glimpses of his team this season that they have the ability to make those big strides with, things like better communication, concentration, and obviously health. There are several players out with injury right now as well. Substitution here for the Vancouver Rise. Camila Reyes, who was very active tonight in tonight's game, coming out. And Jamie Perreault coming in. Perreault played 12 minutes last week in her NSL debut against Ottawa. Pitt Meadows, BC product.
Tifa Abdu coming and dropping low continuously, getting on that ball, spinning out, and causing issues for this Halifax back line.
Leaving the ball for Tumeth. Kennedy manages to get a hold of that. And just Perreault off the ball, earns the foul. Just over 10 minutes to go. Chloe not happy about how close Abdu is to the ball, but also tells Pedersen to get the ball back a couple yards. Pedersen across to Allen. Allen, the left foot over top. Is that dangerous? Wolf commanding her box. And players down. Wolf took command of that box and in some discomfort here, but prevented a scoring opportunity for the Tides. And Valerons get grass all over
All players involved put everything into that challenge. It's great recognition from Allen to get that ball in, and you see Wolf command the box. As you said, Signa comes up, is able to get her hands on that. Valorant, unfortunately, falling quite hard. But everyone's back to their feet, which is what we love to see.
Valorant holding on to that shoulder. Halifax's top tacklers, Valorant, just off the foot of Taylor. Kennedy comes back quickly, steals the ball away from Perreault. Perreault back, trying to recover. Kennedy, can she get up the cross-off? She does. Clear to the top of the box, and the shot, Pettersson is blocked. Pettersson again. Sliding it out to Valorant. Halifax on the prowl now. And Lee comes back in defense to help out.
Dangerous chance there for the Halifax Ties. That ball spilling right to the top of the 18. Pettersson not able to strike that.
Throw goes the way of Vancouver. Addie Wicker's not happy about that. One of the players that Stephen Hart has been most impressed with this season has been Addie Wickers. Say she plays with a I'm here to stay mentality and leads by example.
Especially in a line, in a back line where we've seen quite a few new faces and them really trying to get to know each other. Wickers has been the one to help lead that.
Kennedy trying to get by Tumeth, does earn the corner kick here. Corner kick. Ricocheted out, so it is a goal kick for Vancouver. Teams dueling for the ball, goes off of Allen.
Vancouver in no rush to get the ball into play.
For a Halifax throw. Inside 10 minutes at the Wanderers grounds. Vancouver Rise on the road, a 2-1 lead. Thanks to a second half penalty kick from Quinn. The Rise looking for their first victory of the season after a tough start on this NSL calendar, including a couple lopsided losses. But this is a team that showed a lot of resilience last season, finishing, well, part of the year they were out of the playoff picture altogether, and of course winning the championship. So it shows you what kind of team this Vancouver Rise is.
It's about overcoming those low moments together. That's something that helps to bring you guys together and continue forward and to just be that much better.
Rhodes looking for an opportunity forward. Quinn back to Wolf. Wolf sending it way up the pitch. It's Allen against Perreault.
Perreault showing some great pace.
Quinn. Can they have a strike? Passes it off. Valorant moving forward. Chips over top, was looking for Rhodes. Is Rhodes onside? No. Just a hair offside.
It's a great idea. That transitional play is something that Vancouver struggles with. It's something that Heiner Muller brought up to us. They don't love those transitional plays, but Rhodes getting a little bit too excited. She continues her run and is a step offside by the time that ball is kicked from Valorant. Great recognition for her to play that ball over top, and it was perfectly weighted as well.
Miller takes advantage of a turnover. plays it in. Unfortunately, Rhodes is offside as well, so Amanda Kwan, the assistant referee, right there to put that flag up. We have a substitution coming up for the Halifax Tides. It'll be Sarah Taylor leaving the pitch. And Naya Cardoza coming into the match.
Exiting the match, number 14, Sarah Taylor. Entering the match, number 2, Naya Cardoza.
Naya Cardoza had played every minute of every game.
And it looks like we're seeing her deployed in a bit higher up.
Well, you know what? She was a center back for the first 3 games we saw her, but the Jamaican international showing that perhaps she has a little bit of offensive prowess as well. Perot moving forward, taking a few touches, tackled by Allen.
And Allen has been somebody that has made multiple big tackles this game. Obviously, one of them ending in that PK, but I think that overall her ability in those 1v1 tackles, she's been very good. She times her tackles well, she keeps her footing, and she has the pace to stick with almost anyone. So she has done well on the day, Signa.
Corner kick here. 5 minutes to play, a 2-1 Vancouver lead. Looking for more, Foster Inman punches that away. So Ponte will go back to the corner flag.
See another look at it. Ponte puts this ball, doesn't give Foster Inman much choice but to come out and get her gloves on that. She ends up punching it away, but another corner kick.
Again, driven in. And off the head of DeFilippo. Foster Inman said, let's get up the pitch. 5 minutes plus added time at the Wanderers grounds. High looping kick. Rhodes gets it to Pedersen.
Jordan Rhodes continuing to be very active coming off the front.
Almost 3,500 in attendance at the Wanderers grounds today. Valeron taken down. There'll be a free kick for the Tides. Foster Inman providing direction in the back. Pedersen on the ball.
We've seen a few of her last deliveries. They have been great, they have been accurate. So can they get something off of this?
Ball driven in. Wickers trying to keep that alive. Couldn't get it by Tumeth, and out for a throw. Allen, long throw in. Flicked on by Rhodes, but Yeka clears it away. Leslie looking inside the box. High ball. Wolf has got the size, got the hands, and prevents anything from happening there.
We haven't seen Wolf have to come out too much, Signa, and be tested all that much. But when she has, she's done really well.
Rhodes has Kennedy. Kennedy, the shot. Oh, it just goes over the foot of Naya Cardoza. Just over the foot. Cardoza was on the doorstep.
Sydney Kennedy and what she can do when she goes forward and she drives end line and she gets that ball across. It was so close.
Halifax pumping it forward. Here's Valeron bouncing the cross in.
Some good back pressure there from Rhodes.
Allen. Long throw in. Cardoza heads it down. And Tumeth has had her work cut out for her today. She's been up for the task. Allen, another long throw in. Cardoza tries to flick it on. DeFilippo back there to help out.
Seeing the numbers that the Rise has in the box, they know how dangerous the Tides can be when they're in and around this 18, trying to wind down that clock.
Another long throw. And off of Rhodes, out for another throw in. Perreault does well, moves forward. Jamie Perreault finding some space, cutting it back, in no hurry with the 2-1 lead. Quinn.
3 minutes of added time.
3 minutes of added time. Is that enough time for the Halifax Tides to find?
I mean, let's just look back at that. Rhodes gets that ball to Sid Kennedy, who's driving forward, and she drives that ball straight across the 6. Cardoza not able to get her foot on it, but she slides and puts everything she has trying to get there in time. They're definitely going to be watching that one back and kicking themselves, Signa.
It was one of those ones where you say, there it is, and the Rise have the edge right now, trying to hold on to this 2-1 lead. Looking for that first win of the season. After some tough early moments, this would feel good, especially when you travel all the way across the country. To Foster Inman. Halfway through, added time, she'll launch that up the pitch. Header over top, Yeka. Handles it as far as Pedersen. Wickers. Again, Halifax pushing those numbers forward. Off of Valeron. Valeron, the cross in, it's way over top, but gets to Kennedy, cuts it back. And Allen, is this a chance? Pedersen! Kennedy trying to curl one in. And out for a throw.
The Tides finding so much success with that ball and that direct play over top to get the ball back into the box. Keeps dropping to their feet off the clearances, but just not able to connect with it to get a shot off to really test Wolf.
Is there a goal at the death here? Tides fans would love to see it. They're coming alive at the Wanderers grounds. And their team come from behind, driven in, headed away by Cowart. And this is one last opportunity.
Can they make something of this?
Allen lets it run across. And it won't be enough today. It's the Vancouver Rise, their first win on the season. 2-1, thanks to a penalty spot kick by Quinn, the team's captain, coming through in a clutch. And they held off a charging Tides team in these final minutes.
Nobody likes to lose to a PK, Signa. It's the most frustrating way. Nonetheless, that was a great performance from the Halifax Tide, specifically in those last few minutes, as you just mentioned. They did need to be more clinical. The creation was there, but can they be clinical and consistent from that first minute to the 90th? There were times where the Vancouver Rise really took over control when they had possession, and ultimately they were able to find the back of the net twice, which ends up leading them on top. But the Halifax Tides, there was some great things. Can they continue to grow in that attack? You also love to see some reunions.
Oh, yes. Good friends and old teammates all around in this Northern Super League. Look at our final statistics here. Very even, obviously, the total shots, but not enough in terms of on target for the Halifax Tides. They're creating, but you got to challenge the goalkeeper, and Jessica Wolf was owning her box today as well.
She absolutely was.
So Vancouver, some tough moments in the early going in this season, giving up 11 goals through 3 games, 3 losses, and today, Anya Heiner-Muller's team on top with a 2-1 victory, and they move up in the standings as well. It's still the Montreal Roses on top, unbeaten so far, but Vancouver feeling pretty good to get that 3 points on the road. Foster Inman smiles despite that loss today. 2-1 the final from Wanderers grounds.
And then the follow-up reaction.
And the follow-up reaction, you got it. Thanks for watching us here on this broadcast brought to you by BMO, the official sponsor of the Northern Super League. It's been a pleasure. See you next time.